What's up, guys? Welcome to the Sports 2.0 show. I'm joined by our NFL guy, Ryan Ghodsian. How you doing, my man?
Doing great, Tanner. How are you?
Hey, I no complaints, man. How's Miami? You're going there you're in California? No, California? Yeah, California, right? Yeah, you're in Miami. How's the time change been?
It's not a problem at all. I'm going from LA to Miami. Definitely can't complain. The weather's great. Football season's coming around, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, football's the best. I mean, I'm a baseball guy. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm a baseball guy, but football is like the best time of the year because it's just like it's fall. You got playoff baseball. You got football starting up. NFL. So you are a San Francisco 49ers fan.
I am.
All right, how you feeling about them this year?
Oh, great. Better as ever. 2019, no one expected us to make the Super Bowl, and we made it. Now we got expectations. We got Trey Lance ready to take us to the promised land. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Lance, he's been playing well in the preseason. I think like a lot of the rookie quarterbacks have been playing pretty well, which has been fun to watch. I mean, you see, I'm a Patriots guy, so I've been following Mac Jones. Mac Jones got his ass kicked at practice yesterday with the Giants, but the day before he was actually really good. So exciting stuff. We got the new future of quarterbacks coming up, so it should be good. All right, so let's get right into it. We got a few announcements as usual, guys. First of all, subscribe to the network. That's a given. If you're not subscribed already, smash it right now. And also Caesar Sportsbook, New Jersey, Michigan, Indiana, Tennessee, Colorado, Iowa, and Illinois. Use promo code SPORTS20RF. Can get a risk-free bet to $5,000. Guys, this is unprecedented in the sports betting community. It's sweeping the nation, guys, so make sure you check that out. All odds we'll be using today are courtesy of Caesars. So let's get right into it. We're going to be breaking down the preseason, tonight's games at least. And then Ryan will be joining me a few times over the next couple weeks. We're going to be starting our new NFL show, so Ryan will be a big part of that moving forward. All right, so let's start from the top. Indy versus Detroit. Off the top, Ryan, you look at this game, who you like. You got to find value in preseason betting, right? I mean, I always look to the unders for value, but where are you going here?
I think I'm going to go with the Colts. I think they have more to play for, honestly, tonight because they got I know Carson Wentz. There's been reports that Carson Wentz is going to be able to come back in time for week 1. But he has been injury prone, and the Colts need to find a solid plan B. So I see Frank Wright really giving Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger all the reps they need. And because of that, I think the Colts are going to play harder. The Lions, listen, the Lions are the Lions. They don't have much to play for. Even if this was a regular season game, didn't matter who they were going up against. I take the other opponent. So that's where I'm at.
I agree with that. You look at what the Colts have done in the preseason so far. 2-0 though. I mean, they're playing well. They won by their first game against the Panthers by 3. They won their second game by 2 against the Vikings. But you can never trust this. But like you said, Carson Wentz could be back, might not be back, might be back. Who knows? But whatever happens with Carson Wentz, even if he plays week 1, he's still going to be trouble this season. I mean, he gets hurt all the freaking time.
Exactly. And set aside the injuries for a second. Even last season, he played the worst football of his career. So I honestly, even though this is only his second team in the NFL, I think this could really snowball out of control if Wentz doesn't have a good season. He has a lot of baggage. He's been mentally kind of weak per se. At least that was the word in Philadelphia. It not only got him traded, but it also got his entire coaching staff in Philly traded. So now you look at Philly, they're a whole new team. But if Jalen Hurts plays better than Carson Wentz this season, there's going to be a lot of problems with Wentz. I see him, being kind of a journeyman guy, kind of like Ryan Fitzpatrick if this doesn't turn out well. But he's in a great situation with Frank Wright as his old OC. In 2017, he was almost an MVP candidate. Well, he was an MVP candidate before he got hurt. So the Colts are a great team. They got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. They have good young guys on the outside and Michael Pittman, and they also still have T.Y. Hilton. And obviously their defense is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated in the league. So I don't want to hear anymore that he doesn't have any weapons. The offensive line is hurt. He has all the weapons he needs. He's got a good offensive line, a great coach. So nobody's going to be talking about his preseason foot injury if he struggles. So I don't think anyone's giving him sympathy this year.
Definitely. I'm excited about Jacob Eason too. I mean, look what he did last week, 16 to 27 for 132. Even if Carson Wentz isn't there, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing Eason play a little bit because he's going to get time, obviously. Wentz is not going to make it through a full season, not get hurt or have a little bug or something or have a boo-boo. I don't know. But I am excited about seeing Eason play tonight. I think he'll get a lot of the reps, even though we're only in the third preseason or final preseason game, but we still have a week till the season. I like the Colts to cover here at -2. I like them on the money line. I still think this game stays under just because you got to think about the guys who are going to play tonight. They're not going to put their dudes in. Probably keep this game under. Defense is still ahead of the offense. But what do you think of the total? You think over or under?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the under 2. Preseason in general, just under low scoring. And yeah, their main guys aren't out there. A lot of it is just seeing which guys are going to make the team at this point. So I'm definitely taking the under. But going back to the Colts quarterback situation, what are your thoughts on the fact that they didn't trade for Nick Foles or they didn't bring back Phillip Rivers out of retirement? I honestly thought that would have been, at least Phillip Rivers, would have been a great insurance policy if Wentz wasn't able to start the season or if he goes down. Just so there's a little experience on the team. I mean, Jacob Eason, he has looked good in the preseason, but I don't think he's had any NFL snaps in his career, and Sam Ehlinger's a rookie. So,
well, you got to throw him out there at one point. That's what it comes down to. You got to put him out there. I mean, everyone hasn't taken a snap in the NFL when they're a rookie, and I think Phillip Rivers just won his first game as a high school coach like a couple nights ago or last night. I don't really know, but I saw that on Twitter today. So he's obviously not coming back. I think the Colts are fine. I mean, you look at Carson Wentz, like he's their quarterback of the future per se. Like that's who they want there. I mean, if they can make the marriage work with Frank Reich, I think it's going to be very good. But again, can he stay healthy? So, to answer your question, I mean, I'm kind of good with Ehlinger and Eason. I mean, you got to throw them out there, let them compete a little bit, give them a little something to work for, and ride with them. That's put money into other places of your team. Don't go into that like Phillip Rivers. What's Phillip Rivers going to do for you, realistically?
Yeah. He played pretty well last season.
He did. But I will say though, like, let's go with the future. Get these guys work because obviously if you're thinking too, like, all right, if Carson Wentz does get hurt, all right, Phillip Rivers isn't a long-term solution by any means. Let's go with Eason, let's go with Ehlinger, see what they can do. We got a comment here. All right, we got a fake comment, but fake comment. Want to become famous? I like throwing these up there because we already are famous. Get off our screen. But anyways, yeah, it should be good. I think Carson Wentz will be back. I'm rooting for Carson Wentz because he's a likable guy. But you don't think so?
I'm not a big Wentz fan. I think he gets way too much treatment. I'm not listening. He was great in his prime with the Eagles, but just because of one amazing season he had, I think he got kind of arrogant and got ahead of himself. He got injured a few times. Obviously, no one wants to see someone else get injured, but he hasn't been the same since. Yeah. And I think he put the blame a lot on what was around him rather than owning up to himself, saying I didn't play well. So that's just my opinion.
All right. Well, you know what? Whatever happens, hopefully he gets back on the field, and hopefully we see him do something this year because, like you said, he hasn't done much. All right, we'll go to the Steelers and the Panthers here. Steelers are currently 3-0 in the preseason. They got that extra game because of the Hall of Fame game. They'll be playing the Panthers tonight. Panthers 0-2 in the preseason. What are you looking for in this game right off the top?
So I'm gonna look for Najee Harris, how much he's gonna play. In my opinion, he's been underrated in the preseason. He's got a lot of hype going out of college in Alabama. He's exactly what the Steelers need, in my opinion. They really struggled to run the ball last year. I think he's going to help them a lot. He's a rookie, especially in Mike Tomlin's offense, the running back is very important. So I'm looking for
cash back
pass protection situations. See if he has his assignments correct. See if he can handle the blitz. Maybe some short yardage run situations. Especially in the third week of the preseason, I expect a lot more teams to go for it on fourth down, actually, to see who they have nothing to lose and to see who is really who thrives under pressure. And I think Najee Harris is going to be a big, big piece for the Steelers this year. I'm just interested to see how much he's going to play. If I had to guess, probably I'd say 3 series. But From the Panthers' perspective, it's all about Sam Darnold. He's trying to rebound back from when he was with the Jets. I'm not ready to call him a bust. I think anytime when you're with the Jets, you get the benefit of the doubt. He had a terrible coach, one of the worst in my opinion, in Adam Gase. Didn't have much skills positions around him. He had a terrible defense. So he's going to a better situation in Carolina with Matt Rule. Yes, the Panthers aren't the flashiest team, but they do have Christian McCaffrey on the team, which is going to help them a lot. And I think they actually have an underrated defense. So I'm not picking the Panthers to make the playoffs this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if they won 7 or 8 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Panthers are like 1 year away from being pretty damn good. You got to look at Matt Rule. Every program, I know he's first NFL stint as head coach, but every program he's been a part of, he's been able to flip. You see it. I mean, they played, considering what they went through last year without McCaffrey with the injuries, they were competitive. I mean, the record might not show that, but they did play. They played hard. I mean, that's just a Matt Rule team right there. When you look at this game tonight, I do think the Steelers will likely cover +4. I like that bet if you want to bet this game, and I like this game staying under 35 as well. Again, not a lot of starters are going to play. The Steelers know that Big Ben's going to be their guy. He won't play tonight. When you look at the Lions, I mean, I don't know if Goff or not the Lions. Going back to the other game, when you look at Carolina, Darnold. I mean, how many reps do you think Darnold gets tonight?
I say 2 series at most. Yeah.
I mean, he's been there. He's a guy, like you said. I mean, he was with the Jets, so he deserves a little break, a little reprieve there. But he's a guy that knows how to take NFL snaps. They're not going to push him too much tonight, I don't think, by any means. So I like this game to stay under. If I had to pick one bet, I'm going to smash the under in every one of these games tonight.
So much, yeah. so much.
So we'll go Philadelphia and New York here. Philadelphia +5.5 tonight. New York -5.5. Money line. Got the Jets favored on the money line. I'm very excited about the New York Jets this season. I know that might sound a little crazy, but I like the Jets. I mean, it's just they've looked pretty damn good in the preseason. I mean, what have you seen from them?
I'm really impressed with Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
He's especially with a first-year head coach in Robert Saleh, who's a defensive mind. He's really showing maturity and precision with the football. Yes, it is a preseason, but it still has been impressive. The one thing I will say, though, about the Jets is I think they'll be better than last year, but I still think they're finishing last in their division. You look at the Bills, I think they're going to be the first. I think the Patriots are going to be much better this season. And the Dolphins are a great team, too. So the AFC East, which was known to be a really bad division for all these years, is actually starting to look a little more competitive than it has been. So if I had to guess, I'd probably pick the Jets to win 5 or 6 games this year. I think they're a few years away from really competing for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Zach Wilson, though, I think he's going to be a quarterback of the future. But again, New York kills quarterbacks. That's what we got to, every year we see it. They draft a quarterback and they're no longer relevant. So I'm hoping Zach Wilson does okay. I was never really a big fan of him at BYU. I thought he was very cocky at BYU, but again, he makes a couple throws in his pro day, and he's a first-round draft pick, and everyone loves him now. So we'll see. I mean, I'm expecting big things from him, though.
Yeah, I honestly, when someone plays at BYU, you don't really watch many of these football games. So just like you, I was looking at his pro day, and I was shocked. I don't remember a guy gaining so much traction and heat from a pro day. He slid all the way to the number 2 overall pick over guys like Justin Fields, Trey Lance, even Mac Jones. All these guys kind of just fell right behind Zach Wilson. For now, the Jets look good, but it is still the preseason. I don't even think this year is going to be a good measurement of how these guys are, but I don't think we'll be able to look back at this draft class to see who really was picked in the right place, probably for another 4 or 5 years. So,
yeah, that one throw he made in his pro day, the one throw that was every highlight was him rolling to his left and then throwing back across his body to his right, like 50, 60 yards down the field, just an absolute strike. I mean, that was the throw that made him a lot of money. But yeah, I mean, rooting for him. The Eagles are struggling right now. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they just got killed by the Patriots. I know they didn't have a lot of their ones. They had some injury issues. They had they had some other things going on there in Philadelphia, just not playing very well. But even in their first game, when they were healthy against the Steelers, 24-16 loss, And we say preseason doesn't matter, but again, it can't be a fun team meeting the next day after losing 2 games the way they did.
I agree, especially in a market like Philadelphia. They're not going to give you much praise. I'm honestly worried for Jalen Hurts. I really like him as a quarterback. I think he's a good player, but I don't trust Nick Sirianni to really help his development. I thought they made a mistake firing Doug Peterson. I thought he was a great coach. And I just listen, the Eagles, because they're in the NFC East, they always have a chance. But it's not looking good for them this year. And I want to see Hurts succeed, but I don't know if he can with a coach like Nick Sirianni. Even the way he handled the quarterback situation was just so off. I mean, you really think Joe Flacco is gonna pass you as a starting quarterback? And the guy's like in his mid-30s, hasn't been relevant since he left the Ravens. So yeah, I just listen. I don't know what he tried to mean, what he was trying to do in training camp when they asked him about the starting quarterback, but I don't think it really rubbed the team off the right way. So especially as a first-year head coach, the number one thing you want is for guys to buy in and play hard. And if the guys can't trust you, how do you expect them to play hard? So listen, it's only, like I said, it's only preseason. I'm just basing off of what I've seen so far, but I have my doubts about the Eagles mainly because of Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, I have my doubt about the Eagles just for a variety of reasons. You look at what they did last week, even though it was their 2s and their 3s and stuff. I mean, this is still NFL football. Patriots outgained them 486 to 163. They outran them on the ground 207 to 82. I mean, there's just no grit with this team. And that's what I'm a little afraid about with the Eagles. I fully expect the Jets to cover the spread tonight. No doubt about it. Money line. I mean, there's no value with them on the money line tonight, so I'd stay away from that. And then, I mean, this is a game that honestly could go over, I think. You look,
Really?
I mean, the Eagles should have a little more success, probably, right? I mean, than what they've had. I think they should put the ball in the end zone a little bit. And then the Jets, I fully expect the Jets to run all over this defense or do whatever it takes, So I wouldn't mind betting the over here. I probably would stay away from this game as a whole because I hate betting overs in preseason. But what about you?
No, I'm not going to say it's a 34 is kind of a gray area. If I had to pick, I'd say the under, just because preseason. But I don't blame you for taking the over.
Yeah.
I think the Jets are one of the few teams this preseason that have been playing like extremely hard, and I think that's a testament to Robert Saleh. You look at the difference between Robert Saleh and Nick Sirianni. Seems like the Jets players are really buying into his philosophy, and he's a player's coach, and that's why I think he really got the job. He was a great defensive coordinator for the Niners, and you can just tell everyone on that defense loved playing for him. And I think that it's not X's and O's, but it makes a big difference. So that's where I am on Robert Saleh. I thought it was a good hire. We'll just see if it was the right hire for Zach Wilson. Because usually when you draft a quarterback that high, you want your head coach or your offensive coordinator at least to really help his development. So we'll see. I agree with you. I think the Jets are going to be improved this year, but I'm still taking them to finish last in the division just because of who they're going up against.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, the Bills should win that division, Miami and New England. I think New England will finish second. Miami should be third to second, and then the Jets will be in last place. All right, finally, Vikings, Chiefs here. I mean, if you're not smashing the under in this game, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, 38.5 points. The Chiefs have only scored 19 and 17 this year. Mahomes is not – if Mahomes plays tonight, it's one series at most. Yeah, I mean, smash the under in this game. I don't know what you're doing. I mean, that's a high total. I think they're maybe expecting Mahomes to play 2 series tonight.
I don't know. I don't even know how they came up with that number. But yeah, I agree. Under for sure. That's an easy bet.
Yeah, easy bet there. You look at the Vikings. Vikings are 0-2 in the preseason. Just not anything special by any means. Let's see. They lost 33-6 and they lost 12-10. That's what the thing about the preseason. It's a crapshoot. You just don't know what you're going to get. But the Viking, like Thielen's not going to play tonight. All their dudes are not going to play tonight. So I don't see many points getting scored in this one. Obviously, we look at the Chiefs. There's not much to say about the Chiefs. They're going to be one of the best teams in the AFC. They're the favorite to win the AFC right now. But I got a question for you. If you had to pick one team to upset them in the AFC, who's it going to be?
That's a good question. In the AFC, honestly, it might be crazy to say, but I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Justin Herbert had arguably the best rookie season of all time, and he has guys around him that are great players in Keenan Allen. I think Brandon Staley was a great hire. I think their defense is going to be much improved. Joey Bosa is back. Derwin James. Even last year, the second game of the season, they almost beat the Chiefs. I don't know if you remember. That was Herbert's first game. And I think Anthony Lynn was one of the worst coaches in the league last year. They had a bunch of games where they lost by single digits. And I think with Herbert having another year under his belt and Brandon Staley taking it as their coach, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people this year. And because, like I said, because they're they're not division rivals, but because they're in the same division, I think their whole game plan and scheme, I think, will be in order to match up with the Chiefs. And you look at obviously I'm not comparing the Chargers to the Bucs, but you look at what the Bucs did in the Super Bowl last year, and they beat down the Chiefs by pass rush. And I think Joey Bosa is definitely going to help a lot in that sense. And I look for Brandon Staley coming up with creative ways to apply pressure on Mahomes. And I'm really high on Justin Herbert. I think he's going to have another great season. So I know it's crazy to say. Maybe it's not the biggest threat, but I think it's definitely a legitimate threat in my opinion.
My upset pick in the AFC, I think, has to be the Cleveland Browns. You just look at they're kind of under the radar still. I mean, they're legit, but they're still under the radar. They got all 11 starters returning on offense. They revamped their defense. Like, I'm excited about Cleveland this year. LA, I still think LA is a little too far away, but I respect the pick out of you. I think that's a little ballsy move right there.
Yeah, I like the Browns. Listen, Baker Mayfield had a good season last year, but is he gonna thrive under pressure in the playoffs against Mahomes? That's my question about them.
Right. They almost beat him though. I mean, Mahomes got hurt in that game, right? But they almost. I mean, they're one. If they could have easily won that game. They had opportunities to win that game, and then the fourth down play with Henny, like that they faked him out on, like that was they stop him there. They get the ball back on the 50-yard line, and they're scoring there.
You're right. Yeah.
So, but Mahomes did get hurt in that game, so you got to factor that into the equation. But yeah. I mean, I'm excited for football. That's what it comes down to. Even this preseason, this final week of preseason, then we'll have I believe there's a week off, right?
Yeah.
Week off, and then we get into the opener, September 9th, Buccaneers hosting the Cowboys. That should be a lot of fun. But final thoughts here, Ryan. We'll be doing some more shows next week talking NFL. But what are you looking for this weekend? One thing for preseason football.
I want to see how the coaches are going to approach the last week of the preseason. Because it's only 3 games now and not 4. The second week of the preseason was kind of the dress rehearsal. I see a lot of veteran coaches playing it safe and resting their guys. But I want to see what the rookie head coaches and the second-year guys decide to how much they play their starters. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. What about you?
I'm similar. I want to see how much like a guy like a Mac Jones or a Justin Fields or, one of the rookie quarterbacks, how much do these guys play that probably are going to be the starting quarterbacks on opening day? Do they go with them and give them more reps, or do they say, hey, you know what, this is going to be our guy, let's calm down a little bit? So that's probably the biggest thing I'm looking for. I'm also looking forward to watching the Patriots play, see if Mac Jones can solidify that starting job with Cam Newton back now. So we will see. I mean, exciting stuff. But thanks for joining us, guys. Really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the network as usual. If you're looking to bet this weekend, do it on Caesars Sportsbook. New Jersey, Michigan, Indiana, Tennessee, Colorado, Iowa, and Illinois. Promo code SPORTS20RF. Going to get a risk-free bet to $5,000. We will see you next week for another episode of Sports 2.0 Show.